What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I have to make this follow-up video and address something. So, yesterday I posted a video regarding Juan Manuel Marquez and possibly him fighting Mike Alvarado at a catchweight of 144 pounds. Now, in this video, I also explore the fact that it looks like, for whatever reason, Marquez does not want to fight Ruslan Provodnikov, which to me is a reasonable option. And the thing is, I'm a huge Marquez fan. I like Ruslan Provodnikov. I like boxing. There's a ton of fighters that I like. However, I see with the fans, some of you guys are really fickle. And by fickle, I mean you're very indecisive. You jump from one fighter to another depending on how they're doing, if they have a win streak or whatnot, if they're popular. I don't work like that. I believe in equality in everything I do. I'm an Aries, so that's just what I like, my personal taste. Now with Marquez and the Ruslan Provodnikov fight, it's funny how many double standards we have in boxing with these fickle fans. Again, nothing against Marquez. You could check my old videos. I've always been a fan. I still am a fan. I always speak highly of Marquez when I speak of, but I also speak real. And the thing with Marquez is there's really no justification for him fighting Mike Alvarado instead of Ruslan Provodnikov, the guy who beat Alvarado and who has a win streak and at the very least, gave Timothy Bradley a hellacious fight. The only reason for that fight not happening is a business move / playing it safe. Mike Alvarado is the safer option. You don't want to fight the person who demolished Alvarado. You're coming off a loss, so you're trying to secure future paydays because we know Marquez has options. He has options with Pacquiao in a rematch, a fifth fight with him. He has options with Timothy Bradley. So in order to secure that, you want to take the safer route. And the safer route is to fight Mike Alvarado, a fighter coming off of a loss, a fighter who, in my opinion, is not as destructive. He's not a bad fighter, but he's not as destructive as Ruslan has been lately. Ruslan teamed up with Freddie Roach, and he seems like he's on the incline with his career. If you look at Ruslan that fought Mauricio Herrera versus now, I would say he's improved, either in the confidence department or something, but he's had some good performances. So the thing about it is, I talk about this all the time, just these double standards we have in boxing. So it's okay for Marquez to overlook a guy who's calling him out in his weight division. Ruslan has fought at 140. He's fought at 147. So Marquez can easily overlook that, even though Ruslan is also with Top Rank or has a deal basically with HBO. I don't know if he's actually with Top Rank. I think he is. But that fight is feasible. It could happen. You know what I mean? And he's looking over him and past him, possibly for his benefit. Now, if that's what he wants to do, that's okay. I'm still a Marquez fan, but some of you fans are blinded, and when it's the fighter you hate, you slander them. You say, oh, like Floyd Mayweather, he's ducking Gennady Golovkin. Floyd has his own promotional company, Mayweather Promotions, and he works with Golden Boy, and he works on Showtime. Gennady Golovkin is with K2 Promotions in a different weight division, and he's been fighting on HBO, unless they get pissed off at him and don't televise this shit like the Adama fight. So how can some of you fans justify the things that you say? I was talking to a guy yesterday, and I talked to him about a week ago. He says Floyd Mayweather is a chump. He's not a real champion because he does not take risks. And that's basically what he said. He said he doesn't take risks, and he won't go up and fight Triple G at 160. So Floyd, being the fighter who could barely make his own catch weight on fight night against Canelo, he didn't even weigh the 152. He needs to bypass all of that and throw that out the window and go up to 160 and fight someone who's traditionally been fighting on HBO with K2 Promotions, etc., etc. Yet Marquez, because you're a fan of him and you hate Mayweather, Marquez has a guy who's staring him in the face, calling him out, Ruslan Provodnikov, which could be a good fight. And you say, no, that's not. He doesn't have to fight him. The guy was also going on to say, he says Marquez is a Hall of Famer and a living legend, and he has nothing else to prove. but Mayweather has to prove something. Like, I mean, these statements are retarded. Marquez is a living legend. He is a future Hall of Famer. He's definitely one of the top fighters of this generation. You could put him in the talks with the top greatest Mexican fighters as well. You could put him up there in the list, at least in the top 10 list, with the Chavez seniors and the Eric Moraleses, the Marco Antonio Barreras, and those fighters. However, that doesn't omit the fact of what is actually going on. And again, Marquez is not fighting Ruslan based on, probably he wants to take a safer approach. He wants to extend his career, and Ruslan is a gamble. So that's fine. If that's his business decision, that's his business decision. But again, some of the same fans that call Floyd Mayweather out for doing something which is more atrocious, going up in weight and fighting someone, not saying he can't do it. Past fighters have done it. But how are you okay with Floyd Mayweather going up to 160 when he can't barely make weight? And then you try to justify Marquez not fighting Ruslan. It makes no sense. At least if you have an argument, keep it consistent. That shows you that some of you fickle fans have a lack of an argument. And I just don't get it. I also think Marquez and Ruslan is a good fight. In addition to being a good fight, I think it's a perfectly winnable fight for Marquez. Ruslan is there to be hit, and he showed that. But it's going to be interesting because it's a battle of attrition. Ruslan's younger than Marquez, and he's very punishing and relentless. So it'd be a matter of if Marquez at his age would hold up. But other than that, Marquez stylistically, he's not Mike Alvarado. I think he's smarter than Mike Alvarado as a fighter. So I think he would set up traps better. He's more accurate, in my opinion, with his punches, and he's a better counterpuncher. So I definitely think Marquez could win that fight. So it sounds like some of you fans don't have faith in Marquez of winning the fight. So therefore, you make every excuse under the sun as to why he doesn't need to fight Ruslan, or why it makes no sense for him to fight Ruslan, instead of admitting. And it's okay. Just admit your fighter, for whatever reason, doesn't want to fight him. I don't necessarily think Marquez is like just shaking in his boots and afraid of Ruslan, but he knows the implications of fighting Ruslan. And if you're nearing the end of your career, then that might not be the best look for you. And just say that as a fan. If you see this happening, say that. But again, some of you fans try to make these dumbass arguments with me, and you'll fail every time. And you'll say Floyd Mayweather doesn't take risks, but Marquez has nothing else to prove. Like, how does Marquez have nothing else to prove in the sport, but Mayweather has to go up in weight to another division and take on the monster and Gennady Golovkin? So Mayweather has something else to prove, even though he's beat timeless champions and future Hall of Famers and done the things he's done, but Marquez doesn't. It just doesn't make sense. So part 3 of the double standards video, part 4 coming really soon, probably right after this, because I just feel like talking. Let me know what you guys think. Is Marquez ducking Ruslan Provodnikov? Do you agree with it? As far as Marquez fighting Alvarado, I mean, like I said, it's the safe card. It's the safer fight if you pick two. But again, don't say fighter A needs to take a risk. Don't say, oh, Nonito Donaire needs to take a risk and rematch Rigondeaux. But then Mike Alvarado and Marquez might fight because Marquez is not fighting Ruslan. Keep it consistent. And that's, again, what some of you guys do. You hate Nonito Donaire, so you'll say he needs to immediately fight Rigondeaux as opposed to him fighting another fight. And you'll say he's ducking. So just keep it consistent as a fan. That's all I can ask. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.